to be a police officer and work at the police station.
I want to be a teacher and work at a school.
I want to be a firefighter and work at the fire station.
I want to be a nurse and work at the hospital. I want to be a chef or a vet. I want to be a scientist. Can you tell me, what do you want to be?
Welcome, boys and girls. Welcome to today's episode. Today we are checking out how to become a pastor. Join us with Ps.Machamire as he takes us through the journey, the walk of being a theologian.
Can become a writer in school, and that's something that a lot of people choose to do, and can be a very fulfilling career because you're studying the Bible, doing a lot of research into the Bible, going right deep, and giving us a lot of valuable information about the people who wrote the Bible. All that is very interesting stuff. Where did they come from? What did they eat? What kind of homes did they build? All that is information that you can look for as an academic person. The other thing that people would do, or that people can do, is also doing research into churches today. So what are our churches like? How many people are coming to church every Sabbath? What age are those people? Are we having more old people in church or more young people in church? Those are different questions that people could ask, and you can find out a lot of very interesting information. Do we have more men or do we have more women? What do you think? Do we have more men or women in church? More women. Then someone will ask, but why do we have more women? And why do we have less men? All that is information that people will look to and say, okay, if we don't have this group of people, what are the things that we can do to bring in more men? And that's activities that people can do. Another thing that somebody else could do is also combining theology with a different skill. So someone could study theology and also study computer science. Then you can create very interesting Bible applications. Anybody who has used the Bible on a phone? Yeah, there's a computer scientist who had to sit and make sure that the Bible is available on your phone. And those applications can be done by someone who's got a theology degree and a computer science degree. So we can learn two skills, merge them, and bring very interesting information. You also have others who will choose to combine their theology with media, and they find ways to share the gospel using media. Those are all things that are available to people who study theology. Do you have any questions from the kids or anything else that you'd like?
Anyone wants to ask the pastor any questions? Put up your hand. He said he saw the door open.
Can a female be a pastor?
Anyone with a normal question? Anyone out there somewhere with questions our age? Let's not ask big things. We don't want big people questions here. So, Pastor, we just want to take two hands. So we've got one hand there. We'll try and put that on last, so that we don't struggle. Okay. One more hand, so that the pastor just answers all of them at once. Yes, we've got that one question. Another one. Another. And okay. Second question. What's your second question?
I want to check what role did your parents play in you becoming a pastor?
Yeah, those are the questions that we like. What role? You see, young lady, can you hear the questions that you should ask in church? What role did your parents play in you becoming a pastor? And the last question, when I'm sitting down and you're on your own, can a lady be a pastor?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. That can a lady be a pastor? But I think let me start with the easier question. What role did my parents play? It was very, I don't know if I should say minimal role, a very strong role. Because my parents didn't say, go and be a pastor. My parents were happy for me to do anything that I chose to do. But what I did get from my parents is seeing what ministry is like and getting to choose. Remember I mentioned at the beginning that I was reluctant to be a pastor? Part of why I was reluctant is because of my parents. because I knew the reality of ministry. I knew the good things about being a pastor. I also knew the bad things about being a pastor. But my parents also played the role of being very positive role models in terms of ministry. So they didn't force me, they didn't nudge me in that direction, but they gave me support once I made the decision. Then can a lady be a pastor? Both yes and no. Why I would say yes is because in several countries around the world, you've got ladies who are choosing to be pastors. In Zimbabwe, I haven't seen any lady who has been employed as a pastor. But that doesn't mean that a lady can't do theology. I think there's a lot of opportunities for ladies who want to be in ministry and who want to serve God and serve the church. There's many different roles that they can take. Particularly, you can look at the academic role, you can look at giving care to people in different areas all around the country. There's roles that are there within the church. Some roles that may be saying, okay, this role is for a male, this role is for a female. But I think there's opportunities for ladies to study theology and to serve God. It may not necessarily be you take a job at the conference, but there's opportunities that you can use because, for example, I mentioned creating a Bible app. That's something that even a lady could do and do research in those areas. So there is opportunities for ladies to serve, but maybe not serving in the conference as a pastor.
Thank you so much, Pastor. What does the church say to Pastor? Okay. Let's clap hands for the pastor. While you're sitting, before you sit, is that another hand?
Yes. You said you knew the bad things and the good things of being a pastor. What are the bad things?
Okay, the bad things is everyone knows how to do your job better than you. Maybe including some of you here. You think, but why doesn't the pastor just do this? And everybody always, so usually people are always there to complain, to put you down, and then everybody looks at the pastor's child. And they think the pastor's child is this child that drops straight from heaven, coming to earth, as a pure angel. And if somebody discovers there's something wrong with eating peanut butter and they see you as a pastor's child eating peanut butter, they say, oh, you're a pastor's child and you're eating peanut butter. So I don't want my children to have to go through that. But I know you guys are really nice, so you're not going to victimize your kids or anything and say, how can you be doing that as a pastor's child? You're just going to treat them as a regular child and help them to grow strong and nice in the church because all of you are really nice. So that gave me a lot of courage to say, you know what, I can have kids because I saw the kids at City East and I knew there would be good kids in my kids.
That'll be our last hand. Is it a normal question? We want to make sure we're ready.
I wanted to say, in this church, I've never seen a woman preach during the night. Why is that?
This is when I sit down.
Here at City East. Oh, okay. I don't know why that is. Maybe that's the short answer. But I've seen women preach at a lot of times. The other time I was here, I think I saw your mother preach.
Yes.
So, yes.
It was Sabbath school.
It was Sabbath school. Okay, but it was like preaching because she had some of the things that I wanted to say in my sermon, she said. Why that is, I'm not sure. But sometimes people will have good reasons to say, you know what, let's give these roles. Let me make something clear. The question that we have in our church is what's the role of women in the church? How do we make sure that there's a role that's there for men and a role that's there for women without people easily crossing the line? So that it's like there's no difference that's there. A girl can be a boy or a boy can be a girl. We want to see where is the difference. And so there's questions that are always being asked. That what's the role for women and what's the role for men? And we are trying to study the Bible to see where do women fit in, where do men fit in, without necessarily copying everything that's there in the world to say, you know, there's no difference between a boy and a girl. Because sometimes the differences are then, as you look at what the Bible says, the Bible actually mentions that, okay, men do this, women do that. So it's kind of trying to discover that and then seeing how best to implement that in church. I know I didn't answer your question fully, and I answered it partly, but it's also because I don't have the full answer.
Thank you so much, Pastor.